I was prepared to wear whatever I want. I was thinking, all right, I'll wear a Ranger hat or Texas Rangers run around then. But I just wasn't prepared, and I know Hein wanted to make this, you know, a world name, household name, and just went in there and we did it. So I think the Green Ranger was definitely cool doing. Even though we had like a tinfoil shield on, which was weird, like a cheap one, but anyway, they didn't think kids knew either. They were like, you know, they're never gonna know. And now you guys are all picking it apart. Like when I did the return, it was like, you know, silver belt buckle, and you know, they never released the gold morpher. And I talked to Bondi, I'm like, you guys shouldn't have done paid attention to details. If you're all selling merchandise, you gotta match the character or helmet with silver. I told the guy, he's like, just, you know, we'll be fine with it. I'm like, dude, you're not on tour, and you don't have to answer questions all day long on why we have different helmets and different morphers and stuff like that. So, but Green Ranger was definitely fun, and Zeo was a great season, I thought, working with you. And Johnny Bosch too, I like working with Johnny Bosch. I know you watch my page, me and him are doing a tour in Austin at Wizard World, and we're gonna do like a stunt class, like a level 1 stunt class. He's just great at stunts and all that, so we'll be getting together for the first time in many years, and it's gonna be awesome, so. Yes, sir. When I'll open in Kentucky, I was thinking, I think my first fight was in Kentucky here. Kentucky. I'm not too sure, I think it was. But it's the hardest thing about opening school, I'm very picky on my instructors, and I'm very picky that they pass the generation down correct. I mean, I'm one of those instructors that we have to keep the tradition alive, because right now with MMA, the schools are falling apart. They're doing the MMA stuff, but then they forgot about the discipline. I mean, after all, our kids are enrolled in martial arts for discipline. Even though we don't tell the kids that, they're having fun, but it's like, you need discipline, you know? And when I come in and I turn the discipline on, all the parents love me. And even though I'm harder on classes, parents love me more. Just because that's what kids want. Instructors are too scared to put the discipline. I don't mean like hit them with a stick and, you know, make them like put them on the wall of shame. I mean discipline. I mean, don't ask the kids for respect, just demand respect on the floor as an instructor, you know? And parents love that, and that's kind of what kids need. But I'd love to open schools just to, I had a chance to open Power Ranger schools around the world. I mean, you know, I was talked to by Saban, let's open Mighty Morphin Power Ranger karate clubs all over the world, and can you lead it? And I just didn't want to lead it. I just couldn't find the instructors. I didn't want them to just fall apart. You know what I mean? And it wasn't for me, it wasn't a cash cow to go out there and lead the schools. I'd rather have one good strong school and, you know, a few good black belts than hundreds of schools around the world just falling apart. You know, teaching false stuff to everybody, just and for money reasons. I didn't want that, so I just turned that thing down. But it'd be hectic to manage that. I'd be having anxiety like crazy. Come on guys, your punches need to be, have a heart attack or something. Yes, in the ring.
When you were,
I'm super hungry, by the way. You all starting to look like hot dogs and hamburgers.
Since there were a lot of Power Rangers within the span of what you worked with, how was it interacting with all the different actors who played them?
We're talking about, he's asking about different, either seasons working with the different actors, or coming back to Megaforce and working with all the initial actors, or something like that.
Throughout all of it.
Throughout, I mean, you know what, it was for me, it's kind of like turned into a job where, you know, in school, we all have a teacher that we all love in first grade, second grade, and then we leave the teacher. And we're all like, oh, my little girl's like, oh, my first grade. I'm like, well, I hate to break you the news, but you're probably never going to see her again, so let's suck it up and let's get you the next teacher, you know? I mean, and not to be mean or nothing, but her job is to learn, you know, and not just, you know, and I'm glad they have relationships, but I was like that at first. I was kind of in my own world, and, you know, let's go on strike type of thing. And what bothers me, and why I usually do a lot of solo panels alone, and no disrespect to anybody, but what bothers me is to sit up here and complain about money, complain about how we were treated. I'm happy. I did Megaforce, I would do it for free. I didn't care about it. I care about my fans. And, you know, then it's like, well, we tried making the show better, you know, and we did this. Now, Dave Yost is a great guy. I love him. We were friends. Me, Dave, and Amy were like our own little, you know, group. And we didn't really care about it. We wanted more money for the show. That's why some of the other guys left. It had nothing to do with, I wanted the show to be union. No, it had to do with you wanted more money. I was so happy. When I got the Green Ranger, I didn't care about how much money I did. I was just happy. I was like, sweet, I get to film. I don't really care. Let's just do this. You know what I mean? And then the rest just followed. And I became a leader, and you know, I got more money, and I didn't ask for it. It just happened because I was passionate about what I did. That's why I tell people when I do Q&As or VIPs, which if people are asking, the VIP, I do have a VIP tonight. It's just a small get-together. You can ask Trey where the details are. And why I do them is because I try to pump people up. I try to tell you that you can do anything you want to do. You can't listen to people saying, oh, don't do that. Let's take you back in time. How about you skateboarding and everyone calling you, oh, you're never going to make it nowhere. And now he's Tony Hawk, so what do you say now, you know? So the people that costume making, artists, whatever you want to do, you have to follow your dreams. Because to me, success is not how much money you have in your bank. Success is, do you like your job and do you like your life? Because when I want to fight, I fight. But when it turns politics, I'm out. When I want to jump, I jump. But when it turns politics, I don't want to do it no more. You know, I really want to do things. And we all have politics at our jobs. And half the time, you know you're fake to people. And what would the world be like? How you doing today? And you tell them. And then what would the world be like if you told that person you didn't like them? I just don't like you. You know what I mean? I try to be honest with people. People might not like it, but I try to be honest. I like everybody. There's some people that, other schools that are like, I think the best thing is silence, and success is the best revenge. Just, who cares? Let those people out of your life. People like cancers. You know the people we're talking about. You know we all have family members like that. Don't try to say we don't. You know, we got the uncle so-and-so, the cousin so-and-so. They're like, I'm related. It's like, no, you're not. You're the second cousin in the second generation. You're not blood, man. You know? But we just got to kind of weed the people out a little bit, you know? So, but anyway, any other questions? Yes, ma'am. I always had fun on set. I do remember me and my brother were filming No Business Like Snow Business, a snowboarding episode. And I do remember picking my stunt guy. I was like, that's the guy I want, you know, because the guy was nice, but it's terrible. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, my stunt guy. But me and my brother wanted to snowboard, so we were like, all right, let's just take this little hill. We were all filming, they're not going to see us, so we just jump a little hill. But we couldn't get back. It was a super gigantic hill. We kept going and going. And so I got to the ski lifts. I'm like, no problem, man. We'll just take it up and we'll be back before you know it. But then there was like 20 ski lifts, and we're like, oh my gosh. So my brother, like, you know, well, let me do snow. And it's like, dude, the whole place is snowing. Shut up. You know what I mean? Like, we just got to get on the ski. So we were gone for hours, and we came back. And, you know, of course, I was like that. And unfortunately, the only guy that had no keys in my vehicle, no toys to play with, because they knew I would start it and I'd go forward a little bit. So I was the only guy to come on set, and I was like, come on, guys. ATVs, cars. My turbo car was terrible inside. It was just all gutted out, you know, it looked great from the outside. I had no keys. It was slow. It wasn't fast. You know, although you guys think it was, but it wasn't. So, yes. Yep, I do. I talked to Narvi and Johnny Bosch, and let's see what John's doing. I usually call him. I don't know if I get reception. I do talk to people. What are you doing? M-A-Q-N-A. M-A-Q-N-A. Want to talk? What are you wearing? I do talk, I mean, a little bit, you know, like with Amy's movie, I helped her out on Family a little bit, and she's got another movie coming up. I don't talk to her often, though. It was a while ago. Johnny Bosch, I don't know where Austin is. I'd like to see him. I don't know where he's at. Some of the other guys, I see David Walter around, Steve Cardenas. A lot of guys I worked with, you know, didn't embrace it all that much. I was tired of working with people like that. If you got something to say, then leave the show. That's just how I was. You know what I mean? Don't interrupt my time. If you're gonna go out and party, then you better come on time. I was very strict. I mean, you know, my wife says, "Oh, you're controlling." I'm a businessman. You're here, and I want to work with you, and you got to show up on time. So I was like the leader in real life. Like, hey man, go talk to them. We're like running overtime. And I'm like, all right. And the movie was like 2 months overtime, and it was just a ridiculous amount of time. And you know, it's like, I wouldn't have mind kept filming, but my contract was up. And the only reason that was the only time I was strict is because, dude, you guys filmed us with no visors, no mouth, you know, and you guys replaced Alcia 2 times, and you all wanted to replace me with like Michael Keaton, so get it, I'm out. You know what I mean? But we filmed it, we made it, but we had the no visors and no mouth, like during the movie, and it was like, we were standing there, and we're like, dude, this is so dumb, you know? And then they're like, you know, getting ready to roll. I'm like, can you tell who I am? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you look stupid too. All right, and action, you know? So we had to do the scene and all that stuff. So it was quite strange. And then we replaced Delcia twice with the original one, and Mariska, Jane Mansfield's daughter, played, you know, Delcia. So we just wasted all this time, you know? So, yes.
On set, who was the biggest prankster and what was the best prank ever pulled?
I was probably the biggest prankster. I did so much, I don't even remember. You know what I mean? I do say this, the one time we were in Cayenne and we had like per diem or whatever, where we like spend money, eat food and all that stuff. They gave us like a lot of money. It was like $500 or something. It was like, I couldn't eat that much. Like, what are you gonna do? So we went to the casino, that's all I did. And I was like, all right, well, let's just, you know, go and play some games. But I lost all the money. I hate losing the money. I don't do Vegas. Like, I got a Vegas sleeve on my arm. It's like, you know, jackpot. It's like one guy who represents one of my friends that lost his arm. But people think I'm like, oh, you hit the jackpot. It's like, I hate losing money. And like Vegas, I just don't gamble. I take a gamble in life. That's what I have to gamble for. But so Dave was there, and he's all, you know, real picky on, you know, betting and all. Well, my money was already gone, so we were like, I was timing roulette, like, you know, the roulette wheels, like, you gotta time it just right, where they're like, no more bets, you can't touch the table. So I timed it. Dave had all his money out, and he was like that, and they're like rolling, and I took his money out of his hand, put it on black, and he's like, dude, they're like, no more bets. And it was like, I'm black, and so I won like $400. I was like, thanks, dude, here's your money back, man, I gotta go. He's like, what if I lost? I was like, it's your money, dude, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, I did a lot of pranks. It just, you know, I can't remember all of them, but I'll think about it. I was always joking around. It's just fun, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, it's just fun.
When are you and Austin St. James gonna fight?
Austin St. John?
John, yeah.
Yeah. We're probably not, man. You know, that was something I was going to do just for fun, like Rangers versus Rangers, you know, because he was a fighter. Well, I don't even know if he fought. I don't know if he does fight or he wants to continue to fight. I got no issues with Austin, you know. It's just, CM Punk would be fun. I mean, but here's the thing, I like CM Punk.
See that fight.
But I like CM Punk. He's a good dude. You know, like if Wizard World came up, gave me a hug. I like CM Punk. And it's not, you know, I don't care if it's a wrestling match. I don't care if it's MMA. I don't care. I just like the dude, and I think a lot of fans would love it. You know what I mean? It'd be a cool thing. But we'll go in the back and then we'll go over here.
Out of all of your Zords, if they were fighting like a kaiju from Pacific Rim or even Godzilla, which Zord do you think would be the best against?
I just think Dragon Zord, man. I think, you know, but I think, you know, I just don't want to summon him or whatever you say out of the water and he'll be all rusty. Like, it's been 20 years. Dude, that stinks. But he can probably still kick, but. All right. Yes. No, we do American style. I trained with an organization called Red Dragon Karate. I trained with my instructor, Sensei Chris Casamassa, who was in the movies. He was Scorpion in Mortal Kombat, and I was like, cool, you know. I mean, it was awesome, and I wanted to be that. And then he did WMAC Masters at one time, which was a TV show. He was the Red Dragon on it, and so we did American style, and I've kept it traditional, and I kept it alive, and I still do what Red Dragon does, and there was a Warriors show that was on. Rowan Osborne is pretty big. He's my student, and I've taught him since he was a little boy. And you know, there's a lot of good people that stuck with it. I stuck with it. I was told 1 out of 10 people are going to reach the level of black belt. I was the one. I told them I was the one, like one warrior. No, but I was the one. One Warrior was just a job, by the way. I just auditioned and got the movie. It wasn't like I wrote it or anything. So it was just a fun movie to do. But you ask about how I was on set. Just imagine how I am with my fans. I was the same way. So I go out there and do like weird stuff, high footing, whatever I do, you know, just weird stuff, just to keep the extras entertained. Which reminds me of the extra that maybe had one part on the show. Extras got like $40 or whatever. It was like one part, and that was the dude that killed those people that you Google, Red Ranger. He wasn't even a ranger. But it still says that today. Got into that double homicide on the boat and really weird in prison, and everyone was like, hey, how's your buddy in prison? I'm like, he's not even a ranger. He was just an extra one time. So he saw the people on the boat and said he was a Power Ranger, and the older people were like, oh, okay, and he took them out and killed them for their boat. And so, you know, like I had to do a radio show. Because of course everyone called me and said, oh, Jason went crazy.